Thank you very much, Dr. Hariom Vats, to give me a chance on this esteemed platform. Myself is Mr. Jaydev Sharma, a PhD scholar in CCS University Meerut, and my collaborators are Dr. Hariom Vats from Space Education and Research Foundation, Ahmedabad, Dr. Anil Kumar Malik, Department of Physics, CCS University Meerut, and Dr. Brijesh Kumar, Udaipur Solar Observatory, Udaipur. My topic of presentation is temperature related variation of differential rotation in solar atmosphere. And this is the plan of my presentation that contains the introduction about the sun, its structure, and what type of radiations are coming from the sun, how to observe the sun from space and ground, and how many techniques are there. What is the meaning of solar differential rotation? How many techniques are there to calculate the differential rotation of sun? What type of data is used in this analysis? Results, discussions, and finally, conclusions. The sun is a huge glowing spherical ball at the center of our solar system. 9 planets, their moons, tens of thousands of asteroids, and almost trillions of comets are revolving around the sun. This slide shows the structure of the sun. The innermost part is called as the core, which has temperature about 15 million Kelvin. In this region, nuclear reactions takes place to carry out the energy. Above the core, there is radiation zone with temperature about 80 lakh Kelvin. In this region, the energy is propagated via the process of radiation. And above the radiative zone, there exists convection zone with temperature about 20 lakh Kelvin. In this region, the energy is transported in the form of convection. That means the material itself goes from high temperature to low temperature. Above the convection zone, there exists photosphere. Photosphere is visible to all of us, and it has sunspots. Its temperature is about 6000 Kelvin. Above the photosphere, there exists chromosphere with temperature about 10,000 Kelvin. The outermost part of the sun is called as the corona. It has temperature about 10 lakh Kelvin. These 3 layers, that is from photosphere, chromosphere, and corona, are called as the solar atmosphere of the sun. From the corona, radio waves, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, and extreme ultraviolet rays are coming. This is the size of Earth, which is very, very small in comparison to the size of the sun. This slide shows the spectrum of solar radiation from gamma rays to radio waves. Here we can see that gamma rays, X-rays, and ultraviolet rays can be absorbed by the atmosphere of Earth, and optical window, IR range, and radio frequency are coming at the ground level. Here we can say that X-rays, ultraviolet rays, these can be measured by the space-based observatories, and optical range, radio frequency can be measured by the ground-based observatories. There are some telescopes which measures the sun from the space. Yokoho is a space mission of Institute of Space and Astronautical Science in collaboration with space agencies of US and UK. It was launched at 30 August 1991. Hinode is a Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency solar mission with US and UK collaboration. It was launched at 22 September 2006. It measures the sun in optical, X-ray and HT ultraviolet range. Solar Dynamics Observatory is a NASA's space mission which has been observing the sun from 11 February 2010. It has multiple channels to observe the sun. It is one of the advanced telescope. Solar and Heliospheric Observatory is a space mission of European Space Agency NASA. It is launched on 2nd December 1995. Stereo Solar Terrestrial Relations Observatory is a solar observation mission. It is launched on 26th October 2006. These are the ground-based observatories. Dominion Radio Astrophysical Observatory is founded in 1960, located in the Canada. It observes flux at 2.8 gigahertz. Big Bear Solar Observatory is a premier university-based solar observatory in the US. It is operated by New Jersey Institute of Technology. It is established in 1969. This slide contains the basic information of solar rotation. Galileo Galilei was the first astronomer who measures the rotation of sun on its axis by making a drawing of sunspots from June 9 to 11, 1613. He concluded that the sunspots rotate with the same rate. That means the rotation profile of sun is rigid, according to the Galileo Galilei. Later on, Richard Carrington observed thousands of sunspots, and he found that the sunspot on differential latitudes rotate at different rate. This phenomenon is called as the differential rotation. In this slide, we can see that the rotation period of equator is about 25 days, and as we go from equator to poles, it gradually increases up to 35 days. Techniques to measure the solar rotation. Tracer's tracking method is one of the oldest methods in which sunspots, plaques, filaments, coronal holes, etc. can be tracked one by one. So in this diagram, we can see these are some features. These are sunspots which can be tracked day by day, and finally the rotation rate can be obtained. This is one of the oldest method. This is, I think, this was the first method. This is spectroscopic method in which Doppler shifting of selected solar spectral lines near the solar limb can be used. Here, the shifting of spectrum measures the solar rotation profile. This is one of the advanced method, flux modulation method. Actually, we use this method. In this method, modulation in intensity of solar flux or emission originates from any region on SFD can be used. I will discuss this method in detail in the next slides. Helioseismology deals the solar rotation profile of interior. In this panel, the horizontal axis shows the fraction of sun's radius, and vertical axis shows rotation period in days, and this vertical axis shows the angular velocity in nanohertz. So here we can see that from core to 0.6 radius r, the rotation profile of sun is almost rigid. Beyond this radius 0.6 r, we can see that the rotation profile is differential. It means different latitudes rotates with the different rotation rates. If we can see this profile at 0 degree, this is increase, decrease, increase, decrease. This is complex variation. Again, 30 degree latitude has complex variation. So the solar rotation profile of solar interior has complex rotation period. This is our method, flux modulation method. In this method, we make latitude strips on the selected latitude bins at the interval of 10 degree. So this is the equatorial strip, which has length of the entire pixels on SFD, and its width is about 2 pixel. This is the 10 degree north strip. This is 20 degree north strip, 30 degree north strip, up to 80 degree north. And in the opposite direction, this is 10 degree south strip. This is 20 degree south strip, 30 degree south strip, and so on up to 80 degree south strips. In this slide, there are total 17 strips. So we can extract the flux or emission from these strips. So what is the flux here? I want to introduce about the flux. The mean of pixel value in corresponding latitude is called as the flux. Suppose this is the equatorial strip. It has thousands of pixels. So mean of this pixel value is called as the flux from the extracted from the equator. So we use here total 365 images, that is total 1 year images, and we can get a time series from 80 degree south to 80 degree north. This time series of the flux has information of rotational features, and rotation period can be obtained from these flux. This slide shows the observations used in this analysis. Actually, we used 7 wavelengths of STO, 171 angstrom. This belongs to the quit corona and upper transition region, and its corresponding temperature is 10 to the power 5.8 Kelvin. 193 angstrom data belongs to corona and hot flare plasma. Its corresponding temperature is about 6.2 Kelvin. 211 angstrom observations belongs to active region corona, and its corresponding temperature is about 10 to the power 6.3 Kelvin. 335 angstrom observations again belong to active region corona, and its corresponding temperature is about 10 to the power 6.4 Kelvin. 94 angstrom observations belongs to flaring corona, and its corresponding temperature is about 6.8 Kelvin. And finally, 131 angstrom observations belong to the flaring corona, and its corresponding temperature is about 10 to the power 7 Kelvin. So in these wavelengths, we can see that the temperature is increasing. So finally, we have to see what happens in the rotation period with respect to the increasing temperature of solar corona. And this table is taken from the Lemon et al. The left panel shows the extracted flux from the strips of the solar full disk. So this is along the x-axis, there are total 365 days. Along the y-axis, averaged EUV flux. This is the extracted EUV flux from the strips, and all the diagram of flux belong in 2017. So this is the variation in the intensity. This variation belongs to AIA 171, and this variation in intensity belongs to 193 angstrom. This belongs to 211 angstrom. This belongs to 335 angstrom. and this variation in intensity belongs to 94 angstrom, and finally this variation in flux belongs to the AIA 131 channel. The right panel contains the corresponding autocorrelogram of the flux. So this first autocorrelogram is for the AIA 171, and this is corresponding to AIA 171 flux time series of AIA 171, and this again this autocorrelogram belongs to 193, this 211, and finally this autocorrelogram is for the 131 observations. So here in right panel we can see that the first peak of the autocorrelogram is more smooth as compared to other peaks. It is also higher with respect to other peaks, so it has more authentic information of rotation period with more accuracy. So we will use the first peak of the autocorrelograms, and we will fit the Gaussian function to make it more symmetric. The first peak of autocorrelogram is fitted by the Gaussian function. This is the lag in days along the horizontal axis. Along the vertical axis, autocorrelation coefficient is mentioned, and this peak belongs to the 30 degree south in year 2014. So these are the points, and this here the Gaussian function is fitted. The central value of the Gaussian function is called as the synodic rotation period. So in this case, synodic rotation period is equal to 27.36 days. It has very less minimum negligible scattering, so its R square is very reasonable. So this synodic rotation period can be converted into sidereal rotation period using this formula: T sidereal is equal to 365.26 into T synodic upon 365.26 plus T synodic. This is one of the result in this analysis. This contour plot belong to the year 2018, and the horizontal axis belongs to the logarithmic of temperature, and vertical axis belongs to the latitude from minus 60 degree to plus 60 degree, and this color code represents the sidereal rotation period. Here we can see that along the vertical axis, the rotational profile is differential. That means the equatorial region has less sidereal rotation period, and as we go from equator to higher poles, the sidereal rotation period increases gradually in both directions. But along the horizontal axis, the trend in rotation period is complex from 10 to the power 5.8 to 10 to the power 7 Kelvin. These are our main results, which are published in MNRS. In all the panels from A to D, along the x-axis, logarithmic of temperature is mentioned, and along the vertical axis, the sidereal rotation period is given. In panel A, this panel A belongs to year 2017, and here we can see that the sidereal rotation period of all the coronal layers belonging from 171 angstrom to 131 angstrom, the rotation period decreases with increasing temperature from 10 to the power 5.8 to 10 to the power 7 Kelvin. In panel B, the average sidereal rotation period is given from 2012 to 2018. The similar decreasing trend is also shown in this panel B. So this here from 171 to 131 angstrom, corresponding to 10 to the power 5.8 to 10 to the power 7 Kelvin, the sidereal rotation period decreases with increasing temperature. Panel C shows the hemispheric band rotation period. Here, southern hemispheric band, which is the average of -60, -50, -40, has downward trend in sidereal rotation period with respect to increasing temperature from 10 to the power 5.8 to 10 to the power 7 Kelvin. Again, in panel D, the sidereal rotation period of equatorial band, which is average of -10, 0 and 10, has the downward trend in with respect to increasing temperature from 10 to the power 5.8 to 10 to the power 7. So in these four panels, we can see that the scattering between points and fitted line is very less. So these results are very sound statistically. This panel E again has the same downward trend with respect to increasing temperature. Here, the northern hemispheric band from average of 40, 50 and 60 degree has the downward trend in sidereal rotation period with respect to increasing temperature from 10 to the power 5.8 to 10 to the power 7 Kelvin of the solar corona. So finally, we can say that in these two slides, in all cases, whether it has trend of individual year or it has the trend of all averaged of all years, band-wise trend. So in all cases, the decreasing trend in sidereal rotation period with respect to increasing temperature is same. So as we go from high temperature to high temperature of solar corona, then the rotation period decreases or the rotation rate increases. These results are published in MNRS. Conclusions. Latitude dependent coronal rotation profile with respect to increasing temperature or height have no systematic variation as observed in the case of solar interior. That means the individual latitude has no systematic variation in sidereal rotation period with respect to increasing temperature or height. Average rotation period of latitude bands -60, -50, -40, this is southern hemispheric band, -10, 0 and +10, this is equatorial band, and 40, 50, 60, this is the northern hemispheric band. So these three bands also follow the systematic decreasing trend in sidereal rotation period with respect to increasing temperature of solar corona, and these results are statistically sound. As far as the overall rotation period is concerned, there is a gross downward trend in the rotation period in solar corona with respect to increasing temperature or height, and these results are verified or similar with respect to the Livingstone et al. He concluded that rotation period decreases with increasing temperature from photosphere to chromosphere and is reasonably supported. So finally, we can say that from photosphere to chromosphere and chromosphere to lower corona and lower corona to upper corona, the temperature increases and the respected sidereal rotation period decreases. So these are our final results. And in the last, I would like to thank Dr. Satish Chandra from PPN College Kanpur, which gives initially the basic information of this subject. And in this presentation, I used some introductory slides of an earlier presentation of Dr. Chandra. And thank you very much.